Welcome back to the Voices Madison Park, Season 2, Episode 2, where we highlight the people shaping our school and community. Today we have Mr. McLain, a dedicated educator and substitute teacher who's been at Madison Park for 3 years. But beyond the classroom, he's also a passionate musician who plays both guitar and piano. As a substitute teacher, Mr. McLain has been in multiple classrooms across Madison Park, giving him a unique perspective on our students, teachers, and the school as a whole. He's seen what works, what challenges students face, and how different classrooms operate. Today we're diving into his journey as an educator, his experiences across the school, and how music and creativity shape the way we learn. Mr. McLain, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you very much. Nice to be here.
So let's get started, right? What made you want to become a teacher?
I always liked working with kids. I did city year after I graduated high school, and I worked in a third grade classroom in BPS. And then when I was 22 years old, my little sister died. She was 12 and I was 22, and I felt like, because when you're in your early 20s, you're kind of like not hanging out at your house with your little sister. So I felt like I had squandered time with her, and I wish I had spent more time with her. And so I volunteered at an after-school program in East Boston, and I worked there volunteered there for 5 years, and I really liked working with kids, helping them with their homework, bringing them to the park, making them snacks and hanging out and playing games. And then when my kids started getting older, I decided I needed a day job, because before I'd worked at nights as a chef.
Right.
And so
That's interesting.
now I decided, a friend of mine who's a teacher said I should substitute teach, that I would really like it. And so I worked at the Timothy for half a year, and then I started at Madison Park after the Timothy closed.
So did you like cooking, or did you
I
always
love
wanna-
cooking. I still think about opening a restaurant,
Right.
but that's a dangerous business.
What kind of food would you make?
I think I would, for around Jamaica Plain where I live, I think they need a good, just straight up American family restaurant, American food. Not American food's everything, but I wouldn't specialize in Italian or Mexican.
Yeah, I'm not Italian,
Asian
but
food.
I like Alfredo.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have stuff like that. You'd probably have chicken parm in a steak, and some pastas, and just normal stuff that kids would eat, adults would eat. But I probably will never do that. This is just a pipe dream.
So, talking about Madison Park, you've been here for 3 years. What's your biggest takeaway from Madison Park?
My biggest takeaway is that I don't know. I think my biggest takeaway is that I think it's really fun to work here. That I like the students. I like working in different places. I'm not even sure that I would want to become a teacher and just be trapped in one little role.
Right.
I really like being able to every day's an adventure.
Side quests.
Yeah, so I think it's a really fun school. It's really interesting to have the vocations, and in the just how big the school is, and just all the different things that go on here is really cool.
Yeah, so what keeps you coming back?
What keeps me coming back?
Yep.
That I like doing it. That I like working with students. I like meeting new people. I like walking down the hallways and saying hi to everybody, giving people fist bumps, and it's just really nice. I like helping people with their schoolwork. I was kind of in school. I always loved school. I was kind of nerdy. I like that stuff. I like doing Latin. I like doing math. So that's what keeps me coming back.
Yeah,
I like doing it.
Seeing you walking around the hallways, a lot of people know you, so that's why I chose you to bring you here into this podcast.
Well, that's
room.
part of being a sub. I get to meet so many different people.
Yep. So, Madison Park has over 1,000 students in multiple vocational programs. How do you see students balancing academics with vocational training?
That's a tough one. I don't know how I see that. I see that some students are way into their vocations, and then some students aren't. Some people don't really like their vocations, and they avoid them. They often skip their vocations when it's their voc week. They end up in the hallway a lot, and they don't seem that interested. And some people are way into it. Some of them are, even a lot of students who are into their vocations, when they come, and there's a substitute teacher, they're like, oh, can I go to my voc? I got something going on. I'm working on a project. So I'm not sure how they balance. And I think I would like to see academics incorporated more with the Vokes. Like if your math class and then you're in carpentry, I'm sure they did a little bit. I don't know if I see it that much though.
Right, right. So, if you could change one thing about the vocational programs and academics, what would it be?
Well, I would like to see the vocations um, do like more interactive with the whole school. Like I'd love to see like carpentry building a table for for the dining room in culinary, and I'd like to see culinary feeding this folk and in
Yeah.
exchange getting a table, that sort of thing.
So, what's one thing that you've always liked about the vocational programs at Madison Park?
Oh, are you kidding me? The vocations, that's the coolest thing ever. If I mean, I would love to take a vocation. I wish I was in high school again. Don't know if I'd appreciate it, but as somebody who's been around for a while, and not a teenager anymore, like the vocations are really cool. Like adults would pay money to learn these things. I would love to learn to like carpentry. I
Right.
know
Yeah.
adults pay for cooking classes.
Yeah,
They
and it's
pay
the only
good money
voc
to go
school in
learn how to
Boston
cook.
too. Yeah. So, what do you notice about the youth? Some issues they're facing, some good things, some bad things.
Um, I don't know. I think the issues are the same as when I was a teenager. You have um, you got problems at home. You got problem. You want it's can be tough socializing, especially. I guess people have anxiety. People have depression, stuff to deal with. You just keep push forward. You got to remember that being that age is a phase, and that things will get better. Especially even like I noticed that I feel like to me like ninth grade was the hardest year of all
Yeah,
school when I
of
was in ninth
course.
grade, and then
Yep.
by like 11th grade you're more comfortable. You feel like in charge. Like 11th grade was one of the best years of my school, and ninth grade was the worst, and they're only 2 years apart. So it's like just get help, like get support. And don't think that every little drawback's the end of the world. Like you could push through, and everybody, just stuff, people, you're not going to always feel awesome. Things are going to be like, this really sucks sometimes.
So, what helped you get through your years in school? Like you talked about, when ninth grade was hard. What helped you get through?
Well, I think playing sports is a big thing. If you play on team and being on a team of anything is like I played baseball and football in high school, so that was like something that was a reason to go to school, is because I needed to because I wanted to play that after school. And then that helps you like start to make friends. Then it was like on the football team I started making friends, and then so then there's another reason in school. Now I got a couple friends at school that I can't wait to see, and then we'll go to football practice after school. And also I was you know also I played in the school band. I played clarinet in high
Right.
school, so that was
Right.
another
So,
reason. Even though I didn't like clarinet that much, it was something to do, and it was more socializing.
understand. Yeah. So, how did you get into music? Talking about after school activities, was it something you did after school, or did you always do it beforehand?
Well, I always loved singing. When I was a little kid, I loved singing, and I used to drag my brothers to Sunday school just for the singing. My family wasn't very religious, but there was a church down the street, and they were like, "Oh, you should come to Sunday school one day," and we did, and they, all they did was sing and color do in color picture like biblical stories and,
Yeah.
and sing songs, and I just went for the singing. I dragged my brothers there for that, and then when I was in fifth grade, this is where I got lucky. When I was in fifth grade, my the reading teacher at my school, at the Kennedy School in Jamaica Plain, um, liked me, and during the parent teachers conference asked my mom if I would hang out with her son, who was the same age. And so I went over and hung out with her son, and we became really good friends. And it just happens that her husband, his father, was the chairman of the bass department at Berkeley
Oh,
College of Music.
wow.
So they always had music around in their
So you
house.
just built connections like
Yeah,
that, right?
so I got lucky that I got to be good friends in of this family in this house that always had music, had instruments,
Yeah.
knew what they were doing, could show you stuff.
Definitely. Yeah. So what about I know there's a music club at Madison Park. What are some information you can tell us about the music club that's here?
Well, music club meets on Mondays after school in Mr. Rui de Pena's room, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what number room that is. This building
It's
two.
on the freshman side, right?
Yeah, freshman side. We have a drum set, an electronic drum set, piano, electric piano. Oops. Guitars, a bass, and we were looking for. We have the talent show at the end, towards the end of the year, that we want to get people ready for. And if you were interested in learning piano, drums, bass, vocals, you can come. You can just show up, and we'll hook you up.
So how does playing an instrument change the way you think? Does it help you process information faster, or you
I
kind of
don't
like?
know. I feel like playing an instrument actually. I don't. It probably does. I know that in a classical education, music is considered a math, right? It's actually it's a required math in a classical education. You take arithmetic, geometry, and music are like the
Yep.
three forms of math. So it's supposed to make you more logical. All math should do that. Just make you think better. Be able to think things through more clearly. I don't when I feel like playing music nowadays when I play, like even just practicing scales or something, that it actually mellows me down. It quiets my mind. Like, all like whatever. Maybe if you're in a bad mood, you just start playing, even though if you don't feel like it, and then, 10 minutes later, you forgot you were in a bad mood.
So if Madison Park opened a music class here, would you be open to teaching that?
Yes, I don't know that. I mean, I would want somebody had some experience, and I'm not a music teacher.
Gotcha.
I know how it works and all that, but I would like want somebody who like knows like what they're doing.
So what do you listen to?
What do I listen to?
Rock.
I listen to a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I grew up listening to like oldies, like oldies station, like Beatles, Elvis, and then like I used to listen to like Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson's a good one.
Now, when I was a kid. When I was like 12, 13 years old, I used to sleep with the radio on 94.5. It was like a hit station. Like I used to like sleep with that on for like 2 years, like every night. So like I just have music running through my head while I was
Right.
sleeping, which is probably not good for you, but
You got to send me your playlist.
yeah, sure. I mean, I listened as a teenager. I listened to a lot of hip hop. I was a big Beastie Boys fan, Tribe Called Quest. I got into like Rage Against the Machine
Oh, yeah.
when this was like 11th grade. I'm thinking like so it's like 90s stuff, and then like grunge was around, like Pearl Jam and Nirvana. I'm getting older and softer. I like a band called the Jayhawks, kind of like harmonies, kind of like I wouldn't say Americana, but similar to that sort of stuff.
So what's the most rewarding part of teaching? Talking about music, music helps you calm you down. What is the most rewarding part about teaching? What do you like? What maybe seeing your students graduate or
Yeah, I think the most rewarding part of teaching is like developing like relationships with students, like getting to know people and like just being social. Humans are social creatures, so
Right.
like yes, I did. I've seen students graduate. I've gone to graduations, and that's exciting. It's kind of to me, it's kind of sad because like I'm like I've kept in touch with some students that have graduated that were like became friends with, but only like a little bit. Like we're not like talking all the time. It was like I went to the movies with a group of students that after they graduated, but like I don't know. To me, graduating's kind of sad because I'm like
Yeah.
now they're gone. But that it's good. It's also happy because that's
Yeah,
what
I
you
agree with
want,
that.
right?
Yeah.
It's like you want them to grow up and fly away, but also so. I think so. Back to your question, I think the most rewarding part is socializing. I'd like to say that like them learning, like you're the one who taught them how to read or to write, like But even with my own kids, like even if I was the one that did that, to me that happens like through time. It's hard to see that like that this is the point when everything I did paid off.
Yeah, right. So talking about all these classes graduating, you've been here for 3 years, right?
Yeah.
So what year that you've been here do you think was the best year? This year, the year before,
So far, I think this year.
this year?
I think I'm still, getting comfortable, and finding like who I am as, as a teacher, when you first begin, you don't know like what you're gonna do. You like come to a classroom and you're like, and as a sub, they're gonna try to take advantage of you.
Right.
It's like, so getting more comfortable, pacing myself a little better, and realizing that every day is not gonna be like you change the world.
Right.
So I think this year to me so far is the best.
Who are some students that you think have been really nice to
Some
you?
students who've been
Yep,
really nice.
Real nice to you.
That's a tough one.
They're going to be watching this. You never know.
I don't know if I want to name anybody. I think lots of the students are really nice. I mean, I probably like hundreds.
Maybe something they've done, not their names, but an action they've done. Maybe a gift to you or the way they've spoken to you, compliments.
What like made me feel good about myself?
Yep.
Well, like as a student, a senior now, Ketty. Do you know Ketty? Ketty Cotard.
Nope.
And she's in health. She's been at Bunker Hill a lot, but
Yeah.
she got a job at Brigham Hospital at the cancer thing, and she invited me and my wife to actually like go to like
that's
the
nice.
opening ceremony. Like
Yeah.
they wanted her to invite like her family, and she invited us as part of her family. So we got to like go and have dinner and check out where she worked. I mean, that's a big compliment. I was like, really, Katie? You want me to go? I was like, sure, okay.
So Madison Park has had a lot of trash talk about the students they're fighting, but I know that you've been in multiple classrooms and that you've seen a lot of students. Would you say that students that you've mostly been with, they've been nice? Or
Yes.
more?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely?
Yeah.
So you never experienced any fighting or anything like that in your classrooms?
I mean, I have, but in general, it's not like that's rare. And I feel like, I worked at the Timilty, which is middle school. I feel like that age, like 7th through 9th grade, and it's like, that's where there's a lot more of that like drama because it's a hard age. You're changing. You're not a kid anymore, but you're not an adult. It's like, and then, there's this sort of competition at that age.
Right.
It's a tough age.
So the other day I spoke to Coach Harvey, and he told me that across Boston, right, a ton of schools have their own problems.
Yeah.
Ton of kids fight each other. A ton of kids are nice. Madison Park, I don't see that fighting happening all the time.
Right.
I see more nice people
too.
at Madison Park.
Oh, me too. Are you kidding me? Like compared to like the Timilty, like
Definitely.
it's like 1/100th of what I saw at the Timilty.
So if you could give one piece of advice to students, what would it be? Your past students, something you've learned from them that you could pass on to next students.
Oh, that's a funny one. I feel like advice to students is a tough thing because I always feel like they don't want advice. It's hard to take advice when you're a teenager because you feel like you know it all. I mean, you got to go through your own hard knocks. I would just say to do your best, to don't to know that your world's gonna keep changing. So don't get stuck in like this is everything. Everything's stupid. Like
So
take some chances. Try things. It takes a little. Be brave. Take courage. Show heart. Even when it's hard. Like just knuckle down and show some heart, and it feels better. It feels better to do the right thing. It feels better to work hard. Because if you just play hard all the time, then it loses all its fun, So it's like if you work hard, then you enjoy playing more, It's just like if you work hard, food tastes better. It's like, so keep a good balance and stick things through, and trust adults. I mean, trust your parents, trust people who are trying to tell you stuff, especially if they're telling you different people are telling you the same thing. Maybe you want to, think about it and listen to them.
right. So thank you for coming in with us. So this was a great conversation. Thank you for sharing your experiences as an educator. To everyone listening, keep learning, stay creative, and find what inspires you. As he said, find a sport, find a hobby, make sure you stick to it. This was the Voices of Madison Park. See you next time.